To override Governor Eddie Calvo's veto of Bill 413 will just have to wait. And according to Senator Ben Pangilinan, don't blame it on him. Session, which was scheduled for today, was canceled, according to a press release by Speaker Judy Wonpat's office, because of an unexpected trip by Senator Pangilinan. But the Democrat senator was quick to clear the air, issuing a press release this morning stating his trip wasn't unexpected, but planned so that he could attend to a personal matter. He further clarified that today's session was not scheduled with his input. With another election just 5 months away, why hold up session?
I think it's very important that it being an election reform bill, that every member should be present to vote on this bill.
We should point out that wasn't the case when Bill 413 first went up for a vote. You may recall the vote was 8-6. Senator Tina Muñoz-Barnes was off island in Russia attending a tourism trade conference.
We were hoping, of course, that, you know, like I said, always just try to make sure if members do come back on time to be able then to vote. But unfortunately in this case, because it's a flight that requires so many different routes, that she wouldn't be able to make it back in time.
Senator Pangilinan isn't scheduled to return until the end of the month. We should also note just today the Speaker's office announced that Pangilinan wasn't the only senator that would not be present for the vote on Bill 413, but also Republican Senator Sam Mabini is off island.
It's not as bad if maybe one member is absent, but surely when there's two or more, it would be best not to. So I try to be as considerate as possible to include them.
10 votes are needed for an override, which means one Republican would have to side with the Democrats in order for the override to be successful. In his veto message, Governor Calvo said he not only vetoed the bill because the legislation calls for an audit of the 2010 general election, but also because Bill 413 would now require absentee ballots that were not timely received by the Election Commission to be counted. Calvo saying Section 7118 seeks to disregard the deadline imposed by Guam law for local elections in favor of a new deadline imposed by federal law for federal elections. And speaking of the feds, the Democratic Party of Guam today presented a resolution they passed Wednesday night to Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo, requesting that she conduct a congressional investigation into the Decision 2010 election. In a statement released by Bordallo Wednesday, she said she would consider the request and make an official inquiry with the U.S. Attorney relative to the disposition of the complaint and ask the U.S. Attorney to respond and take appropriate action, end quote.
No, it's not a question whether she's going to do it or not. She did indicate that she will.
Meanwhile, reacting to the Democrats' resolution for a congressional inquiry, Governor spokesperson Troy Torres responded,
"It's a distraction from the real work at hand that the people expect from us." That being said, there's a call for a congressional investigation, and that's fine. And we welcome them to call the president to do an investigation or invite the United Nations over to do an investigation. They're going to get the same results. This is just all become so silly. And if we really wanted to take a look at election reform, we should have done it back in 1998 when dead people were voting in the gubernatorial election, and it was a botched election where there was a lot of evidence that dead people voted. And so, if they want to call everybody to conduct investigations, I think they should call Ghostbusters as well, so that they can get in contact with the dead people who were voting in 1998, so maybe they could change the outcome of the 2010 election. That's their ultimate goal.